In case you hadn't heard, we are off to the polls tomorrow. A record number have already cast their vote. They'd heard enough after 5 weeks of photo ops and promises. But throughout the campaign, there's been one constant, very loud voice, and it's come from afar.
The first 100 days should be the go easy phase.
Now the work begins. We won, but now the work begins.
But this is presidency the Trump way, armed with his weapon of choice, the Sharpie. Donald Trump hit the ground scrawling. 140 executive orders since inauguration, an all-time presidential record.
What is this one?
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Leaving no doubt Washington, D.C., the United States and the rest of the world is in for a wild ride.
1,500 for a pardon. Yes. Full pardon.
Historically, it's a little surprising, actually, because the first 100 days, part of the appeal of the idea is that it's a honeymoon period.
Trade tariffs were dished out like an Oprah giveaway.
They charge us, we charge them less, so how can anybody be upset? They will be, because we never charged anybody anything, but now we're going to charge.
But many were upset. President Trump's so-called Liberation Day caused chaos on global stock markets. There was economic whiplash when the president hit the pause button, except on China.
What I've seen in less than 100 days is terrible damage to America's credibility and trust with our friends and allies. And most of all, what I've seen is China reaping the benefits.
Also reaping benefits, the world's richest man with a gig at the Big House.
Hello, everyone.
Forming a two-man razor gang.
What we're trying to do is reduce government. We have too many people.
It's not optional for us to reduce the federal expenses. It's essential. It's essential for America to remain solvent as a country.
This has been 100 days marked by challenge and confrontation. Donald Trump's reception for Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky left the world stunned.
If you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
And a Russia-Ukraine peace deal is still not there. A US-Ukraine minerals agreement might be the biggest step yet. The American president is all about deals, and he wants one to take over his northern neighbour.
What I'd like to see, Canada become our 51st state.
But the borderlines stand firm, the MAGA ripple effect bringing Canada's Conservatives undone in this week's election.
President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never ever happen. I, Mark Carney.
Poked and provoked, Canadians chose Mark Carney as the Prime Minister to take on Trump.
Our old relationship with the United States is over. When I sit down with President Trump, it will be to discuss the future economic and security relationship between two sovereign nations.
And across the Commonwealth, there's no escape. Our own stop-start campaign stuttering to the end.
And it looks like we're finally going somewhere.
The president's pomposity adding spice to our election.
That we can make Australia great again.
Is that an ode to Donald Trump?
No, if I said that, I don't even realise I said that, but no.
Sprinklings of US presidential policies down under.
Will reverse Labor's increase of 41,000 Canberra public servants because it will save about $7 billion a year.
An election where Donald Trump is front of mind.
Do you still think that you would be the only leader on earth to get a better deal for Australia on tariffs?
Well, Deb, a couple of points. One is that I dealt with the Obama administration as a senior minister. I dealt with the Trump Mark I administration as a senior minister.
The president's been accused of sleeping on the job, but Donald Trump was in party mode, to celebrate his 100-day milestone, Mark II.
And we're here tonight in the heartland of our nation to celebrate the most successful first 100 days of any administration in the history of our country, and that's according to many, many people.
The President delivered a message. He is ready to talk to whoever our PM-elect is.
The Australian Prime Minister is having an election this weekend. Will you speak to him about trade?
They are calling, and I will be talking to him, yes.
The President's basically saying that you're calling and he's not answering. Is that embarrassing?
No, not at all. It's a light-hearted throwaway comment from the President. I assure you, I'm not staying up at night trying to ring anyone.
These things don't work.
But this is Trump's world, and Australia is living in it. His approval ratings have gone from a high of 53% in February to just 41% this week. And who knows where they will be in 100 days' time. I guess it depends on what he does. As always, that's hard to predict. Remember, folks, the 47th president still has more than 1,350 days left to serve. But who's counting?
You know what, maybe a dullish campaign ain't so bad after all. Not long now until we find out who our next Prime Minister will be. Join Pete Overton and I tomorrow. We'll have special election coverage right here on 9.